Have you ever wondered how ancient Egyptians performed surgeries? Or why the ancient Egyptians worshipped the crocodile, a creature both feared and revered? Through this journey, we will uncover those awesome temples which, besides places of worship, were also centers of healing, political power, and advanced knowledge. We will learn about the gods that they were built for, the rulers who shaped them, and the everyday people who once walked in their premises. The first light of day creeps over Aswan as we set off, the air still cool, the roads quiet. Wrapped in traditional attire, I felt a connection to this place before even reaching the temples. Aswan temples possess a unique pulse. The precision of the carvings, the grandeur of the columns, and the stories from the past waiting to be discovered make these scared grounds so special. As I traced the intricate hieroglyphics with my fingers, I could almost hear the echoes of ancient chants, see the flicker of torchlight against the wall, and feel the weight of history passing around me. The temple of Kom Ombo rises on the banks of the Nile, an unusual structure devoted to two gods, Sobek, the crocodile-headed deity, and Horus the Elder. Unlike other temples that follow a singular design, this one is perfectly divided in half, with duplicated halls, sanctuaries, and courts, each side honoring its own god. The balance between them was intentional, a representation of harmony between forces, protection and danger, healing and destruction. Sobek was both feared and revered deity, embodying the dual nature of the Nile itself, life-giving yet dangerous. He was believed to have the power to control the waters, ensuring fertility and abundance, but also capable of unleashing chaos. His worshippers sought his protection from the very creatures they feared, and temples like Kom Ombo served as places of both devotion and security. Many pharaohs aligned themselves with Sobek to emphasize their strength and dominance, believing that his fierce nature would aid them in war and governance. Horus the Elder, on the other hand, was a symbol of divine kingship, order, and justice. Unlike the more commonly known Horus, son of Osiris, Horus the Elder was seen as a celestial falcon watching over the world. His presence in Kom Ombo represented stability and protection, a counterbalance to the raw and entombed power of Sobek. This duality of forces, chaos and order, destruction and healing, was central to Egyptian belief, shaping how they understood the world and their place within it. Carved on the wall, centuries-old medical instruments reveal that this place once was a center of healing. Physicians practiced here, treating diseases with knowledge recorded in the temple's inscriptions. This is not an ordinary temple, it's an early hospital where medicine, religion, and superstition intertwined. Seeing the carvings up close, I marveled at how advanced the Egyptians were in diagnosing and treating illnesses. They even had records of surgical tools, scalpels, forceps, and scissors carved into the walls of the temple. The temple also contains one of the oldest calendars found in Egypt, giving insights into how the ancient Egyptians measured time. Nearby, the Crocodile Museum houses mummified crocodiles, some so well preserved that even their teeth remain intact. Sobek was believed to grant protection from the very creatures that his followers revered. Walking among these relics, I felt a haunting connection to the past. Imagine living in a time when crocodiles were not merely animals, but powerful symbols of divinity and moral danger. The ancient Egyptians saw the crocodile as both a formidable predator and a protector. The Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, was home to these creatures, and their unpredictable nature mirrored the duality of the river itself, both a giver of life and a bringer of destruction. To appease Sobek, people made offerings, built temples, and even mummified crocodiles, believing that by honoring them they could ensure safety and prosperity. These preserved creatures were seen as a bridge between the human and the divine, a testament of the lengths people would go to secure harmony with the nature. The earlier you visit, the quieter it is, allowing you to take in the silence of the temple before tour groups arrive. Hey guys, I'm in the beautiful temple of Kom Ombo here in Aswan, and it's very unique experience because it was dedicated to not one but two gods, and they had like a parallel structures to each other. Hey guys, look at this beautiful temple. I'm in Edfu. This is the temple of Horus, and we're gonna go explore it right now. Our next stop is Edfu Temple, dedicated to Horus, one of the best preserved temples in Egypt. Its towering pylons, etched with stories of victory, seem almost untouched by time. Unlike other sites where erosion or looting stripped away details, here the carvings remain sharp and the hieroglyphics legible, as if the past refuses to fade. Horus was one of the most significant deities in Egyptian mythology, embodying kingship, protection, and divine justice. Depicted as a falcon or a man with a falcon's head, Horus was the sky god whose right eye represented the sun and his left the moon, symbolizing balance and order. His mythology is deeply tied to the struggle between good and evil, as he was the avenger of his father Osiris, who was murdered by Set. The victorious Horus became the rightful ruler of Egypt, establishing a divine lineage that every pharaoh claimed to inherit. Worshipped across the land, he was a guardian of rulers, a force of stability, and a symbol of rightful kingship. Edfu Temple is a battleground. Its walls tell the epic struggle of Horus avenging his father Osiris against the god Set. Each carving is a chapter, and each corridor is a passage into a larger narrative. Walking through the temple, I was struck by its sheer grandeur. The courtyard, flanked by towering columns, led to the main sanctuary where the statue of Horus once stood. Unlike many other temples, Edfu was buried under layers of desert sand for centuries, which helped preserve it. The French archaeologist Auguste Mariette rediscovered and excavated it in the 19th century, bringing to light one of the most well-preserved temples of the ancient world. The inscriptions on the temple's wall provide a detailed account of the religious ceremonies, offerings, and processions, offering a rare glimpse into the daily practices of ancient Egyptian worship. These texts describe the precise steps taken by priests to honor Horus, detailing purification rituals, sacred chants, and the presentation of gifts to the gods. Some inscriptions even outline the roles of different temple officials and the timing of annual festivals. Beyond their religious significance, these carvings serve as a historical record of political power, as pharaohs often used temple walls to reinforce their divine legitimacy and depict their connection to the gods. Studying these inscriptions allows historians to piece together the spiritual and administrative workings of one of Egypt's most enduring institutions. A guide can bring these stories to life, revealing the hidden meanings behind the hieroglyphics.
Hathor, guys, the goddess, the wife of Horus, she's telling the king, come with me. God Horus, he chose you to build his beautiful ancient Egyptian temple.
So we're gonna go to the temple, and it's on an island, so we're gonna take a boat, which is super exciting, and I cannot wait to see this amazing temple. Unlike other temples built in their original locations, Philae had to be saved. When the Aswan High Dam was constructed, rising waters threatened to drown it forever. In an extraordinary effort, the entire temple complex was relocated stone by stone to higher grounds, preserving a sanctuary that had to stood for centuries. Reaching the temple is actually very spectacular. You have to ride a boat, and the view of the temple from the water is simply breathtaking. Philae Temple was a significant religious center dedicated to Isis, serving as a place of pilgrimage for centuries. As we're just passing the temple, it's so beautiful from the water, and I believe it's even better from the ground. Let's go check it out. The temple was built during the Ptolemaic period, with later additions by the Romans reflecting the enduring importance of Isis across different dynasties. Its location on an island added to its sacred aura, creating a secluded sanctuary for worship. The temple was a hub of healing, devotion, and initiation ceremonies where priests conducted rites to honor the goddess. The detailed reliefs and inscriptions throughout the temple depict scenes of pharaohs making offerings, Isis bestowing her blessings, and even moments from her mythological journey searching for the body of Osiris. The site remained a stronghold of Egyptian religious practices long after Christianity spread, and it was one of the last places where hieroglyphs were inscribed before they disappeared from use. Isis was one of the most revered deities in the Egyptian pantheon, worshipped as a goddess of magic, motherhood, fertility, and protection. She was known for her devotion to her husband Osiris and her role in resurrecting him after his murder by Seth, symbolizing the power of love and transformation. As the mother of Horus, she was also linked to the divine right of kingship, as pharaohs were considered the living embodiment of Horus. Her cult extended beyond Egypt, influencing Greek and Roman religious traditions, and her worship persisted for centuries, even in the face of new belief systems. The Temple of Philae stands as a testament of her lasting influence, a place where ancient devotion endured long after the fall of the pharaohs. The rescue of Philae was part of the UNESCO-led Nubian salvage campaign, which ensured that several ancient monuments were not lost beneath the waters of Lake Nasser. Seeing it today standing on its new island is a reminder of how much history can be lost or saved with the right effort. The last known hieroglyphic inscription in Egypt, dated to 349 AD, was found here, marking the final use of this writing system before it disappeared. Late afternoon visit offers softer light, and the sound and light show in the evening transforms the temple into a living story. Now that we've explored these remarkable sites, I want to hear from you. Which temple fascinates you the most? Kom Ombo with its dual devotion and crocodile relics, or Philae, the temple that survived the flood? Let me know in the comments below. After exploring so much history and learning a lot about Egyptian life and religion, it's time for our last stop for the day. In the stone quarries of Aswan lies a monument that never stood, a massive obelisk still connected to the bedrock. Commissioned perhaps by Hatshepsut, it was meant to rise higher than any other, but cracks in the granite left it abandoned. Walking along its surface, the chisel marks remain visible, a silent testament to the labor it took to carve these monolithic structures. Had it been completed, it would have towered over the others in Egypt. Instead, it offers insight into the challenges of stone carving, the precision and the setbacks even greatest builders faced. The techniques used to carve the obelisks remain a mystery, as no modern tools match the precision of ancient Egyptian craftsmanship. As we wrap up this incredible journey to Aswan's ancient temples, I hope you've discovered something new about the brilliance of Egyptian civilization. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to subscribe and join me on my next adventure through Egypt's timeless wonders.